Old Slick Willie, Bubba, if you prefer, is out campaigning for Kamala Harris. And if you didn't trust him before, well, you still can't trust him now, especially when he's throwing around advice like this.
You did pretty well when I was president, and I think I'm entitled to my opinion about who'd be better. I don't think it's right to say that people have to vote for Donald Trump because the economy was better there. I don't believe that. I think you owe it to the rest of the world and to your own families and to everybody in between to preserve the Constitution.
Joining us now, former Assistant Treasury Secretary for Public Affairs and host of the Monica Crowley podcast. It's Monica Crowley herself. Monica, what do you make of this? Do it for the world, do it for the Constitution, forget your pocketbook, forget the economy. Vote Kamala.
Well, they're in dire straits, the Kamala campaign, which is why they're trotting out not one but two former Democrat presidents, Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. But what's clear from both of them is that they've really lost their touch, right? I mean, in their prime, both Bill Clinton and Barack Obama were pure political magic. Now all of that is gone, and they just look like yet another surrogate on the trail. Bill Clinton's comments there about the Trump economy are so right on. In many ways, it almost looks like deliberately sabotaging Kamala Harris's campaign, because he is admitting that the Trump economy was robust, it was thriving for every demographic group in every way. And he's saying, look, we all know that the economy was much better under President Trump, but don't vote on that basis alone. Guys, there are many important issues like the no borders policy and the collapse of law and order and so on. But the economy is the whole ballgame, and this is what the vast majority of the American people are voting on. So for Bill Clinton, the political master, or used to be, to tell the American people, don't believe your lying eyes on your own individual economic and financial situation, vote instead for the first woman of color and, go and fill up your gas tank on vibes. I don't think that message is going to fly.
Yeah, and it's not even happy vibes anymore. It's like angry vibes.
Yeah.
So speaking of women, as someone who worked in the Trump administration, I'm sure you were quite flattered by Mark Cuban's comments on The View earlier today. Listen.
Donald Trump is not even asking Nikki Haley for her help to try to reach her voters. What do you make of that?
Donald Trump, you never see him around strong, intelligent women, ever. It's just that simple. They're intimidating to him. He doesn't like to be challenged by them.
So perfect that he made this ignorant, insulting comment on The View. It's just so perfect. Look, I put out a video and I put out a tweet on this, and I just want to address Mark Cuban here. First of all, President Trump was surrounded by really smart, strong, intelligent women in his first term. He will do so again in a second term. I was very honored to serve at the U.S. Treasury Department under President Trump. I supported him from day one as a strong, intelligent woman because I wanted a robust economy, low inflation, cheap gas, an enforced border, law and order, and peace through strength. That's what most strong and intelligent women want. And if Mark Cuban considers himself strong and intelligent, well, he should want those things too. So I have a feeling Mark Cuban is actually going to go into that polling place and pull the lever for Donald Trump.
Interesting. And, I look at this as I look at the electorate. Again, there's left-wing Democrat women who love that comment, right? They think every woman who supports Trump or worked with him is an idiot and stupid and not strong. But there's a lot of still women in the middle that could be persuaded. They see that, and this is wildly offensive.
It fits in with this very bizarre pattern of the Democrats actually insulting the voting base, whether it's calling us Nazis or fascists or garbage. And now, well, you got to be pretty weak and dumb if you're a woman to vote for Donald Trump. You don't attract persuadable voters by insulting them. And every single Bill Clinton going out there, they're all insulting the voter base, and it's only driving more and more people to President Trump. First of all, he's had this extraordinary record on the economy, the border, and world peace in the first term, and they know he's going to do that in the second term. But he also has tremendous respect for the American people and for the working men and women of this country, as evidenced by him being a fry cook at McDonald's and driving a garbage truck yesterday.
Is it that Mark Cuban only knows kind of weak women that those are the only women that he associates with? I don't know.
I mean,
I'm just asking the question that, like, how many? I'm just saying, the guy got rich by offloading his crap internet company to Yahoo, which was one of the biggest disastrous acquisitions in the history of the internet. But you please lecture us about strong women and femininity and business on top of that. He's a real
He's trying to mansplain to women how they should vote, and I don't think it's playing very well at all.
I've seen him with really strong women, and the stronger you are, the more he loves you. Donald Trump.
Yeah, you're talking about Trump, not Cuban.
No,
I was like, he's on The View. Those are not strong women.
No, they are not. All right, Monica, good to see you, and thanks for being with us.
Always great, guys. Thanks.
We have 5 days left. I'm going to keep watching.
5 days. Let's go.